Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Fireside Chat. Before we get started, I do want to mention we do have a basketball here, and there's a reason for that, but we'll get into that reason in a little while. My name is Scott Mulwee. I'm the chairman of the Burke County Commissioners, and I've got a guest today I'm so excited to introduce. Our new county manager, Mr. Brian Epley, has joined us. He started February 1st. And we're excited to have him on board. He is going to lead a great team, and we're going to get to know him a little bit today. So, Brian, I guess my first question to you is, tell us a little bit about yourself personally and professionally.
Awesome! I'm so excited to be a part of this this meeting, this platform that you've created, and I've got to watch a few of these of your previous sessions. I think they're incredible, and what a unique opportunity to share a little bit about what you do in your role as the board chairman. As Scott said, my name is Brian Epley. I'm originally from Rutherford County. Grew up there, born and raised. Was a graduate of our Central High School in 2003, and a lot of my youth development did revolve around playing sports and athletics and teamwork and the benefits of hard work and preparation. And after high school, I was lucky enough to play a few years of collegiate basketball and ultimately graduated from UNC Greensboro with a double major in accounting and finance. Wanted to get back to this area, so I turned down, during college, I was actually president of an honor society called Beta Alpha Psi and interacted with a lot of the major international CPA firms. Most people don't know Greensboro is actually an accounting mecca of the world. There's 4 international CPA firms in the world, and 3 of them are housed in Greensboro. It is the centralized location for that industry, and I interacted with a lot of those folks and was able to dip my toes in some of those those firms and how those things operate. But ultimately wanted to come back to Western North Carolina. It's my home. It's where my family is, and so when I moved back, I landed here in Morganton and worked for a CPA firm in Hickory, doing only local government audits around the state of North Carolina. Traveled almost 40 of the 52 weeks a year. Did that for a while until I met my wife, and we decided to maybe do something a little more stable, something a little less traveling, and decided to get into local government, first in the finance world, and then ascending to the manager role in 2018. And so, as you said, onboarded here in February. Could not be more excited really eager to get my family back to this area permanently. We have 2 children. Beth, my wife, and I have 2 children. One is a senior in high school, so we're hoping she can finish quickly here in May, and once she is off to school, we'll be relocating. We also have a 3-year-old who keeps us as busy as we ever hope to be. Her name is Inslee. So really thankful to the board, thankful to this community for the opportunity to serve. We do have an incredible team here. My first 2 weeks have been inundated in a positive way with meeting partners and our department managers and members of our leadership team, and obviously spending time with our Board of Commissioners. And I just am energized by the vision and the groundwork, the foundation that's been set, and just again eager to get started and really see some of these things come to fruition.
Well, Brian has a beautiful family. I've had the honor to meet them on several occasions, and look forward to them moving up here and get to see them more on a daily basis. But one thing I did want to say is we had a very competitive interviewing process, and we had wonderful candidates. But Brian really separated himself. We have a shared vision on what we think we can see where this county can go. And he's very energetic, and he's a team player, as he said. And going back to that team, one thing I did want to mention, one reason you kind of glossed over the basketball thing, but we went out to eat with his wife and my wife several months ago, and you told a story, and you're humble, but tell people where you got a dunk that most people could only dream of getting a dunk in a ball game.
Well, luckily, a long time ago, when that was a part of my life and I was a little more capable, I would say, we had the opportunity, it would have been 2005, to play in Chapel Hill in the Dean Dome, and raised Carolina fan, so obviously for me it was a dream come true. I often, when I tell this story share that it's never a good predictor of how your team's going to perform when you're asking the other team for autographs before the ball game. So we knew it would be an uphill challenge, and certainly we were in awe in the locker rooms and how beautiful they were and the history of that building. And the game was certainly one-sided. I hope that we put up a good practice for that team, which ultimately went on to win the national championship that year. But this was a preseason exhibition type game as they were getting tuned in, and I was fortunate enough to get a little bit of a breakaway during that game and get a dunk in the Dean Dome. So that's the even though we lost the game by a significant margin, certainly a highlight of my basketball career was being able to hang on to that memory of something pretty special there in a very special place.
Well, that's tough to compete with there.
Yeah.
That's such a great story. And I didn't tell him I was going to ask him about it, and he was surprised when he walked in and I brought a basketball with me. I thank Morgan and Recreation for letting me borrow it for a few minutes. But anyway, we've gotten to know each other well. But I do look forward to the things that we're going to be able to accomplish together. One thing people ask me, because I know you came from a similar position, the same position in Cleveland County. So what attracted you to Burke? Why Burke?
I think the short and simple answer is it's just a unique and a very special place. Again, I lived here for 5 years, from 2009 to 2014. We're able to really get to know the community and embed myself in the community. At that point, now that I'm married and started a family, I just wanted to get back to those roots. I think that that's on the personal side. I have nothing but positive things to say about the community and the team that I've left in Cleveland County. But this certainly was, not to be cliche with our brand here, but I felt as if I was advancing. I was taking a step forward on a personal side. I do think it was a lot about a life decision, what's best for our family. But on the professional side, just understanding some of the framework and some of the foundational work that this board and this team had done, and the opportunities that were ahead, it seemed to be a very exciting time to join the team and be a part of that. And I don't know what else I could ask for to have good balance on the personal side, to bring our family, as I mentioned earlier, a senior going to college, a 3-year-old who hasn't yet started school. The transitional time there made sense, and then to evaluate some of the professional opportunities and growth that was very obvious to be planted here. It really made the decision very, very easy.
Well, like I said, we're excited to have you join the team. And, when you look at Burke County, when these folks interview with us, they've done their due diligence. And obviously, you knew the county, you knew the budget, you knew, with your background, financial background, you knew what the books look like and everything else, because you wanted to come to a place that has a healthy budget and is in good position. So, I won't get into specific detail about that. We can do that at another time. But I wanted to ask you, and it's just 2 weeks in, folks, so I'm not asking to be too deep here, but I know you've got an analytical mind and you've got goals and aspirations. What do you see as the opportunities here in Burke County?
I think it's a great question, and I think opportunity is the right word. It's anytime that I think the true parameters for an executive performance-wise is that do you have the ability to envision leaving something or making something better than you found it, and that doesn't mean that it was flawed the way that you found it, but again, onboarding here and evaluating what the first 100 days or first 6 months or first year or first 5 years look like. I think one of the things that's one of the biggest strengths, but also one of the biggest opportunities is our people, trying to unite a group of people around a common vision that is performance, that is measured, that is uniform in where we're going. A lot of power in that, a lot of influence in that, and I think that's the basis of leadership, trying to unite a group around a singular focus, no different than winning the ball game, right? I mean, we want to make sure at the end of the ball game our score is higher than the other scores, and that's that unified vision. And I think that's one opportunity that I'm very much excited about and passionate about. When I look more, in the bones of the organization, there's some long-term planning around financials and around building infrastructure and some of those type things that I think will really help serve this organization and this community, long term. But I'm eager to get started with that. We have a retreat coming up on March the 2nd, March the 3rd, where we can evaluate many of the capital projects that have been forecasted and envisioned, and now it's time to really dig into how do we bring those things to life and how do we execute. Same on the operational side with some strategic visions around many things that I've heard the board talk about: broadband, infrastructure, water, sewer, public infrastructure there. There's just, I think, again, as we look at what you all have done to prepare, the county is positioned to now do, and the preparation and planning, a lot of it has been fully developed, and it's just how do we execute at this point. So, to your point, the county has positioned itself. It has a AA+ bond rating with S&P and Moody's. Other than a little, a fractional amount of school debt, which was some new school buildings built in the last couple of years, there's little to no debt. The county's equity is at 35% of its annual expenditures, which compares incredibly well across the state. The ratios that you would look at to measure performance are there, and that took time, because that isn't where you all were, even a short period of time ago. So, I applaud that. That was a big part of the decision to come here, and I know that we're set up for success.
Well, I appreciate that, and it has taken many years to get this. You just don't turn a big ship like this and get it in financial well-being quickly. It's not an overnight Band-Aid type fix, but we are in a position of strength right now. And as you mentioned, we've got a lot of capital projects that we're going to looking to address, which is the a new EMS station and an animal shelter that needs to be done, and then obviously DSS and the health department. Right. We're taking a look at some ideas over there. In the midst of him coming on as our new county manager, we've all just opened the business park for our first new tenant, a 500,000 square foot commitment from Unix, and they are actually pushing dirt as we speak. We've seen the pictures, so it's taken many years to get that project underway, but we see productivity there. We also are having another groundbreaking tomorrow up in the Jonas Ridge community. It's our far western community, and we actually bought property up there for a new convenience site, which is exciting. The old one we had was in pretty bad condition, and we didn't own the property, so this we will actually own. So we're excited about that, and then there'll be other groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings coming up here in the near future. So you've come on at an exciting time. We're excited to have you. We are going to get a couple of basketball teams up within the county employees, and even let a few commissioners come out. Yeah, and I don't know if that's going to be safe or not. If I'm headed down the lane, I've made somebody mad, I may get a really bad personal foul on myself. So I try to make sure I make the right decisions. But no, we look forward to working with you as a fellow teammate. Yes, sir. And as I've told you and your family, you're part of the Burke County family now, and we expect great things. So with that, I want to tell everyone thanks again for joining us on this Fireside Chat, and we'll have another edition next month. So everybody have a great day. Thanks.